Hey guys, how is it going? Today I would like to talk about the NAT Gateways. This is the second video on the series that I am posting on YouTube. The first video was about Internet Gateways and understanding VPCs, and then that was a video which showed how to create a machine in your own VPC in your own subnet and then reach it from the outside world, right? So now the second part of this I would like to demonstrate what are NAT gateways, right? So let me start out with my VPC. I have two VPCs, right? And uh, on the dev VPC, actually I have, if you see here, I have a /60 incident block as I defined, right? So the subnets in this VPC, I have a public subnet. Now, to demonstrate what is a NAT gateway, I want to create one more subnet, private sub dev01, right? So this is the private sub I'm going to create, and I'll put it in my default VPC. And availability zone, let me say I will create this in East 1B. Earlier subnet was a part of East 1A, US East 1A. So now 10.0.1.0/24. That's the subnet that I'll create now. And this is the starting point of it. Now, once I've done this, right, now let me go to EC2 again, service EC2, and running instances. I'll try to launch the instance in the private subnet that I have created just now. Okay, so here it is. I'll go again, doing a Windows image, right? And I will go ahead, configure the free tier. I'll pick up the VPC. Now I will place this in the private subnet, as you see here, right? And I'm not worried about setting up a public IP as of it, as the name says this is going to be a private only subnet, which means the machines here will not have any access to the internet, or either I couldn't reach the machine. I shouldn't be able to reach the machine from the outside world, right? So that's all about it. Again, I explained all these yesterday about the shared network in my previous video. So if you have any questions there, please get back to me. I recommend you to refer at the previous video on internet gateways. It has a lot of information that I've explained. The next is I'll go ahead, use the default storage. The next thing is tags. I will name this as win private 01. That's my instance name that I'm going to give here. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a security group. I'll create a new security group with the name win pri sec group 01 private Windows sec group, right? As you see, I'll just leave the RDP open from anywhere, right? It's just that the RDP is open from anywhere until and unless I have an elastic IP attached to this instance, it won't be reachable from outside. On top of an elastic IP, I should have a connectivity to the internet gateway as well, which I'm not going to do intentionally here, right? So that's the point of it. Now let's say I'll just go ahead and say add rule. Let me say all ICMP. I want the ping response to come back anywhere from anywhere. I'll do review and launch. Choose the key pair, an existing key pair, and I'll let this get launched. Now let me go to the EC2 instance again. Alright, now let me get into the instances. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and see if my instance is getting created. While this instance gets created, what I'll do is I'll go to the VPC and write a route table for the new subnet, private subnet that I've created, right? So the route table rule is going to be very simple here, right? So I'll create a route table. I will say place this route table in dev VPC, private route table. That is the route table I'm going to create. Okay. Now I'll just ensure that the default rule is there, which means that any machines in the CIDR block that I've defined 10.0.0.0/16 for any communication, route it locally among the machines. So that is the whole rule about it. What's the subnet association I have here? Let me go and associate the private subnet. I'll save this. That's it. Now my subnet is attached here, right? So that must pretty much make my instance on the public subnet talking to the private machine on the private subnet side, right? Now let me open the machine that I have on my public subnet, which is obviously connecting through an internet gateway for now, right? And here is the mission. I'll just do clear of the screen. Sorry. Yes. And let me go back to the EC2 console. And I have two running instances. As you see here, the private instance, this one is still initializing, the statistics are still initializing. I will just take a look into this, and as you see, it only has a private IP, no public IP, and I have not associated an elastic IP with it, right? So I'll just go here. So the idea is to check if this IP is accessible publicly, right? So let me do this. Ping. Obviously it will not be, right? Just for your information. Now let me go to the local instance I have. Let me try pinging this machine. It won't ping, right? That is because I have created a Windows instance and the Windows firewall is obviously enabled there, even though I have all ICMP enabled on the subnet that the machine is placed. Still the Windows firewall needs to be open. So now let me try to connect to that machine now. So I can do MSTSC, right? I can go here, I can take an RTP to this machine, and as soon as I do that, it asks me for a credential. So I'll say administrator. Let me retrieve the password from the EC2 console. I'll go here, I'll say connect, right, and I'll say get password. It'll ask me for the key pair file, pick up my PIM file, decrypt the password, copy this password, and go to my public instance. Okay, I'm connecting to the machine on the private network, and it is connected. As you see, the IP, this doesn't have a public IP now. Let me minimize this and you show the other instance. This has both public and private IP associated to it. That's the whole difference. This machine is not connectable from outside, right? So that's the whole point of it. Now if you see this machine, this is the private machine I have, and on this machine, let me try to go to Internet Explorer, and this is my private machine. I'll try to do www. google.com. Obviously it will not work because this machine has no internet connectivity now, right? So this is the point I wanted to get to, right? Now now let's go ahead and do the NAT gateway part of things, right? So what I'm going to do is basically go ahead and tell you about what is a NAT gateway. Now imagine that you have a machine that needs internet access somehow, right? Maybe I need internet access to on my Windows machine, for example. Let's say, for example, I need to download Jenkins from the internet and install it on my computer. But as an organizational policy, right, I have placed this network, this machine on a network that doesn't have internet access, right? So there are two ways to achieve this. One is if you have a proxy server. Some of the corporates allow that, some of them don't. So if you have a proxy server, you can download the file Jenkins installables and dependencies from the internet and start accessing and installing it, right? So that is method number one. Method number two is to create an NAT gateway. The simplest example I can give you for a NAT gateway is all of you have a wireless a router at your home, right, for the wired broadband connection that you have, right? So let's look at this way, right? When we connect our mobile phones and laptops to our home Wi-Fi network, we get a local IP from the router, right? And basically what happens is that we can reach the internet from our laptops and our mobile phones, whereas let's say somebody wants to reach my laptop, which is on my private network inside my home, which is connected to my Wi-Fi router. That's not possible, right? So I can reach the internet, but from the internet somebody can't reach me directly, right? So that is the my laptop directly. So that is what is a simplistic explanation of what NAT gateway does, right? Basically it gives you a gateway through which you can pass your outbound traffic to something which can reach the internet. Basically that acts like a NAT gateway, right? I mean, it is a NAT gateway. It acts like a gateway for you, right, to access the internet. Now let me go ahead and create a NAT gateway. For that I'll just go to services. Let's see, NAT gateway. I need to get into VPCs for this. On the VPCs I have NAT gateways, right? So let me go ahead and create a NAT gateway first to start with, right? I will name this NAT gateway as okay. I need not name this NAT gateway, right? I need to place this NAT gateway somewhere, right? So logically, how would I place NAT gateway? NAT gateway is a gateway that passes the traffic to the internet as I want to design it, right? So the placement of the NAT gateway, if you think logically, it should be in a place where the internet is accessible. So I would logically think that way and place my NAT gateway in the public subnet which is accessible to internet, right? So I'll pick that subnet. I'll actually create a new elastic IP for this, and I'll just create a NAT gateway. So now the NAT gateway has been created. It's in a pending state, right? Now let me go to the route tables. I'll write a small private subnet rule for routing outside, right? So now let me do this rule, edit an outbound rule. This is my private subnet, so I'll say any traffic that goes out of this network, will be routed through the NAT gateway. That's it, right? Now let me save this, go to my NAT gateway, still getting created. I have to wait till I get the status as it's up and running. Right. One thing about security group, again, as I said in the last thing, it's a stateful thing, right? In the last video, I said that security groups are stateful things, right? And another thing about security group is the default rule in any security group is inbound. I can write allow rules. Everything outbound is all open by default. So that is all about the security groups that are created, right? So now the NAT gateway is available, as you see, right? So now let me get back into the machine, the public machine, okay, and I'll try to do www.google.com here. Here I am. So now I can reach google.com from my machine, right? So this is what is NAT gateway, right? NAT gateway gives you a way to access the machines that are on your private subnet, a way to access an internet for them, right? So that is all about NAT gateway. So by using this, I can actually do a lot of things, right? I mean, if I have, for example, an Ubuntu server which is on a private network, I can write a route table for this Ubuntu machine that is there on the private network to access the internet through a NAT gateway. That way I can do apt get updates on this Ubuntu server, and that's the whole point of it, right? So that's all about the NAT gateway, and I hope you understood what is the purpose of a NAT gateway. See you soon in the next video. Thank you very much.